A night of binge drinking and group sex. A morning after of regret.
She wasn't really left with much of a choice in the matter.
Is this teenager's last flurry of text a confession or a cry for help?
She wouldn't answer texts, wouldn't answer phone calls.
2 days later, Katelin Akens vanishes. Did she run away or was she taken?
She flat out didn't trust him.
Next thing we know, he's bringing out her suitcase. And we were like, uh-oh.
Now, Crime Watch Daily with the latest on a Virginia gone girl. Exclusive discoveries, shocking messages.
Is he coming towards us?
And a run-in with a man police say is a person of interest and the last known person to see her.
You don't have to run away.
19-year-old Katelin Akens was always unique.
She can make you laugh very quick. The way she talks and the way she tries to fumble over stuff, it's funny. We laugh at her.
Quirky, also unpredictable and emotional.
Sometimes she also cried a lot. She was a crier. She cried very easily.
But like any teen, always attached to her phone.
We talked every day. She's the one person that I could tell everything to. And I think the same went for her too.
The outgoing teen's romances were as devil-may-care as every other part of her life, leading her from boyfriend to boyfriend, and even to a girlfriend, an eventual fiancée named Amber.
We were dating once. We dated once, yeah. And I'd known prior that her and Amber had feelings toward each other. I was like, well, who am I to, stand in the way of that, when that obviously made her happy.
It's true love, and Katelin travels across the country to be with Amber in Arizona, and a new life far from her hometown in Virginia. But there was one thing that sent her running back home. Her sister Gabby had a baby boy.
I was very excited to see him. And to come here to see us, and she saw a couple of her friends while she was here. She was just very excited.
Katelin returns to Virginia in December to hold her new nephew, but the turnaround had to be quick.
How long was she in town for?
From the 1st to the 5th. She was going to stay longer, but she was supposed to start cosmetology school on the 7th.
But Katelin's trip back to Arizona would hit a disastrous roadblock. And it starts with her ride to the airport.
Katelin was supposed to leave December 5th.
December 5th.
At like 5:40 p.m. I had to work, so I wasn't able to take her. So my last resort was calling my ex-husband.
That was the last resort.
Last resort.
Lisa's ex-husband helped raise Katelin and her younger sister Gabby. But Katelin's friends say life with stepfather wasn't always smooth sailing.
She flat out didn't trust him. She felt very nervous around him and that he was kind of abusive to an extent.
Physically or verbally?
I can't confirm physical because she never outright told me, but definitely verbally.
Those allegations have never been substantiated, and Katelin never filed charges of abuse against her ex-stepfather. And at 9:20 on Saturday morning, the day she went missing, hours before Katelin's flight at 5:40 that night, Lisa drops Katelin off at her ex's.
And talked to him to make sure it was still okay. And let him know what time her flight was leaving and stuff like that. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. He says, I have to be at work at 3 that day, so she'll just be dropped off a little early. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. He said, okay. And it never happened. She never made it to the airport.
In a text at 1:52 that afternoon, Lisa's ex says Katelin asks to be dropped off at the Springfield Mall metro station, 2 stops from Reagan Airport in D.C. It's an odd request.
She's never really been on that metro before since she was like 6, 7. So I don't know why he would do that.
He just said, yes, I'm going to do it?
And he just said, yes, he was going to do it.
Odd but not alarming. Yet, then a series of puzzling text messages appear. Only 8 minutes after the ex says he dropped Katelin at the mall, Lisa receives this message from her daughter's phone. I'm at the airport. Battery dying, so won't be able to text for a bit. But then Lisa learns that Katelin had sent her fiancé this peculiar message at 11:56 a.m. Something came up. I'm not coming back today. I'll let you know when I get a new flight. I won't be able to text for a bit.
I got nervous when Amber had texted or messaged me saying that Katelyn wasn't coming home. She needed a new flight. Something was wrong with her flight. And I was like, what do you mean? She said she was there.
Then at 7:15 p.m., 2 hours after missing her flight, a final text to Lisa. The message is simple, but maybe the most disturbing. I'm staying with a friend. I need some time alone.
What'd you think?
Didn't sound right. It didn't look right because it was 2 messages too. And she doesn't do that. She'll wait for you to respond and then she'll send another one.
Wasn't her style.
Wasn't her style.
Those messages would be Katelyn's last.
For her to not text me when she was going back didn't make sense to me because, again, like I said, we talked every day. We texted back and forth constantly. I waited for that text and I never got it.
But it wouldn't be the last sign of Katelyn. 2 days after she disappeared, a carry-on suitcase is discovered in the woods of a rural road 44 miles away. It's Katelyn's, and what's inside may put a different spin on the entire case. I'm staying with a friend. I need some time alone. That's the final text from 19-year-old Katelin Akens' phone, sent after her ex-stepfather said he dropped her off at this mall metro station just 2 stops from Reagan Airport.
She wouldn't answer texts, wouldn't answer phone calls. It was like that until her phone stopped working.
Katelyn's been missing for more than a year, but not without a trace.
They said a worker had found her luggage on the side of the road, on River Road. They said it looked like it was tossed out the window.
At the Spotsylvania County Sheriff's Station, a deputy presents Katelyn's mom, Lisa, with the luggage. A blue canvas carry-on.
Next thing we know, he's bringing out her suitcase. And we were like, uh-oh.
Your heart must have just sunk.
Yeah. Me and Gabby looked at each other and were like, we're never going to see her again.
But the suitcase only brings up more questions, starting with what's in the suitcase and what's missing.
What was missing was her clothes, her phone, and her high school diploma.
That's it. Everything else, wallet, cash, debit cards, even her plane ticket home, are still packed neatly in the case. But how in the world did her bag get so far from where Katelyn's ex-stepfather says he left her?
We're talking about many, many miles away.
Many miles, like 30, 40, 45 miles away from each other.
No, it's a long drive.
And Katelyn does not drive either. She's never had a license. She's only had identification cards. Oh, what could have happened? Why was her suitcase on River Road, miles and miles away from Springfield Mall?
Police want to know too. They examined location records from Katelyn and her ex-stepfather's cell phones. Police say those records tell a very different story than the one her ex-stepfather is telling. At 1:56, Katelyn texted Lisa, writing, "I'm at the airport, battery dying." But at that exact time, police say Katelyn's phone actually pinged here, more than 30 miles from that Springfield metro stop. And Lisa's ex? When he messaged Lisa at 2 o'clock saying he dropped her off, just guess. Police discover his phone pinged here, close to his home, but nowhere near the airport or the mall. What about Katelyn's final text, saying she wants to be alone? Police say that's when Katelyn's phone pings off a cell tower in Stafford, less than 15 miles from where her luggage was found.
Whoever sent that message, because we don't know if it was her or not, has sent Amber a message and then me a message. And that was the last bit that was on her phone.
According to Lisa, police believe Katelyn never left the area around her former stepdad's house.
What about cameras? There are cameras everywhere, certainly at Reagan Airport. There are cameras at the metro, the mall, any camera, anywhere. Pick up an image of Katelyn?
Didn't pick up her at all, or him, or his vehicles, nothing.
Nothing.
There's no trace of him being out there.
Was there foul play in Katelyn's disappearance? And authorities are wondering, did her stepfather, now being called a person of interest, potentially have a hand in it? Allegedly fudging his whereabouts is just the beginning of the stepdad's inconsistencies. Lisa claims he told her he had to work Saturday at 3, but Lisa finds that, in fact, he never showed up at the office.
So he never went into work that day?
Right.
Called in sick?
I just know he called in.
He
I
just
don't
called
know.
in and said, I won't be arriving.
Yeah,
Why would he be lying?
beats me. Why would he lie if he has nothing to hide?
Katelyn's mom says police told her they searched his vehicles, his computers, and confiscated his cell phone.
Did the cops find anything?
No. They didn't find anything in his vehicles. And he won't give up his password for his phone for them to get into it. So he won't give them the unlock code. So that's still waiting to get looked at.
What's more, police say he initially agreed to take a polygraph test to clear his name. Then suddenly,
So that day they come up to his polygraph, he said no. He called detective and said no.
Did he tell you why?
He did. He said it's not going to help me, so there's no point in me doing it.
Well, it would help clear his name, right?
Right. And I don't know why he still won't take it. I asked him in December if he'd go take the polygraph test to start talking. He still refuses.
Raymond Gemma is a private investigator who joins Lisa in her desperate search for Katelyn. Gemma isn't willing to open and shut the case on Katelyn's former stepfather. He proposes another possibility.
I'm not sure anybody has determined whether or not Katelyn ever got into the ex-stepfather's vehicle.
What have you seen or heard that would make you think that the stepfather isn't involved?
Again, it's speculation, but a potential theory is that Katelyn may have ran away and he knows about it. And she left her suitcase there and didn't tell him she was doing it. She could have left without him even knowing. That's a potential theory. And once he found out she's missing, it was kind of like an oh crap moment for him. Oh my God, her suitcase is here. I have to get rid of it.
That theory has never been substantiated. In fact, cops won't say how they think Katelyn's suitcase ended up in the woods. But what could prompt Katelyn to suddenly ghost her friends and family? The answer may lie in more texts, one that paint a picture of the young girl in distress, who may have seen no choice but to run away. Katelin Akens has disappeared, gone now for more than a year.
I want to know where she's at. It's been too long.
Questions still swirl around Katelyn's final days back home. Cell phone records show the teen wasn't where her ex-stepdad says he dropped her off. And Katelyn's last message to her mom is this blunt and mysterious text. I'm staying with a friend. I need some time alone.
Katelyn hasn't surfaced in over a year. Cops still won't call it a foul play incident.
They can't tell if it's foul play or she left on her own. They said they're still investigating both ways.
There is a text conversation that may hold the key. And it starts with Katelyn's words. I just really need someone to talk to.
She had messaged me and told me what happened.
What happened is a twisted tale of seduction and sex. Katelyn pours her heart out to her good friend Kevin Eastridge about the night before, when she partied hard with a female friend from high school, and that friend's boyfriend.
What went down?
It's kind of a hard thing to describe really from what she told me. They were all drinking together, and then they proceeded to, how do I phrase it? I guess they kind of forced themselves onto her.
Katelyn confesses the party quickly got out of bounds. She writes, her boyfriend got me really drunk, and then she kissed me, and then he kissed me. They did everything to me and each other.
To me, just an outside observer reading these text messages, that there was way too much alcohol flowing, everyone seemed drunk, and there was a threesome.
Yeah.
Katelyn spends the next morning racked with guilt.
Why was she regretting it?
She felt guilty. She felt like she had cheated on Amber, I guess you could say. And she felt like she was, I guess, a bad person for doing it.
Some of Katelyn's final messages. I don't know how to feel or anything. I've been depressed and crying all day. It's in that guilt-ridden state of mind that Katelyn heads home to Arizona and her fiance. But did she run away in shame? Or did something much worse happen to Katelyn?
Was Katelyn suicidal?
Not to my knowledge, no. She was never a person to me that gave up on life. She always tried to fight whatever she was feeling. And like I said, that's why she came to me. She would come to me because she was trying to fight that.
We're tracking down one person who may know more about whether Katelyn was winning the fight. A man police call a person of interest.
Remember now, Katelyn's former stepfather is the last known person to see her. So we want to ask him right now to shed some light on that day. Was Katelyn acting strange? Why did he drop her off at the mall to begin with? So a lot of suspicious and inconsistent behavior and statements. So we're going to try to clear this all up. Hey, sir, I'm Jason Matera with Crime Watch Daily. We're doing an investigation on your stepdaughter's disappearance. We just had some questions for you. You don't have to run away, sir. She was your stepdaughter. Don't you want to talk? We just had some questions for you. Come on, sir. I mean, he doesn't want to talk. He drives away. All right, come on. So right now the stepfather just jetted into his driveway. We just want to ask him a few questions about Katelyn. It's amazing, and now he's coming back. Hey, sir. Oh, now he's skipping out. Man, look at this guy. People are gonna see that reaction, and they're gonna be like, it appears that something isn't right.
Katelyn's ex-stepdad has never been charged in her disappearance, and citing the ongoing state of the investigation, police denied our request for an on-camera interview, saying, "We are still actively investigating this case and are working closely with the FBI Behavioral Analysis Unit." Private investigator Raymond Gemma has similar concerns about leaking confidential info that could compromise the case.
There is circumstantial evidence that points in one direction, but I can't say which direction.
Why not?
It's an ongoing investigation.
Yeah, but you're not law enforcement.
Criminals watch the show.
That leaves Katelyn's family and friends at a standstill, wondering where she is, if she's okay, hoping she'll return, or at least see our story and call.
That's the only thing you think about all day. You wake up thinking about it, you go to bed thinking about it. She's on our mind 24/7.
Here's one last look at Katelyn. If you saw Katelyn the day she disappeared or have any information on where she might be, you're asked to call the Spotsylvania County Crime Solvers at 1-800-928-5822.